Hello, welcome to my channel. I just want to introduce the channel. This is where I'm going to gather information and videos about cystic fibrosis, CF, and in particular, being an older CF. Many of you've heard the story before about back in the 60s when I was first diagnosed. And when I was born and diagnosed, the doctors told my parents, life expectancy wasn't very good. And then as I got to be a teenager, they said, here's a little pamphlet, and the pamphlet's name was, "So I've made it to 18, now what?" And I wasn't even 18 yet, but goes to show you that with cystic fibrosis, they weren't even thinking to make it to 18. By the time I was about 15, they gave me that. And so I wasn't even thinking, back in the 70s and 80s, you wouldn't have thought about college if you had CF, really, because if you made it through college, you wouldn't have had much time for a career. So this channel is kind of dedicated to people with CF or caregivers, and somewhat on children. That you can see the playlists that are out there that I tried to gather some CF resources. So you just look at the playlists and see some of them are for children, some of them are for caregivers. I may do some videos with my wife. We've been married over 25 years now, and some of the stuff with that. And we have two children, and we adopted, and my daughter is now just turned 30, and my son is 33, and they're both married and have jobs. And I just want to share some information, what I've learned over the years, and maybe some tips of having CF. And if any of you out there have CF and want to comment or have questions, but if tips that you found and want to share that would be useful for others with CF. And it's getting easier now with the internet and sharing people's information, but growing up, I didn't ever even really know other people with CF. I'd sit at the doctor's office and we wouldn't even talk to each other, and they weren't really allowed to share other patients' information. So that, I didn't really know anything about other people's CF conditions. So this is just going to be a channel to share information. Like I said, check the playlist that I have on this channel. You go to the channel button, and when that comes up with the channel's homepage, you can see the playlists. And those playlists, it's categories like children with CFs, their stories, adults with CF with their stories, caregiver stories, and CF medical information. More recently, they released Trikafta a few years ago, and now I've been on Trikafta for, I need to look at the start date, but it's been maybe a couple years, and just share information like that, and just daily living with CF and some of the stuff that I have to put up with. And you could put your comments down of stuff you've learned or what you have to put up with. And anyways, I just wanted to start this CF channel, and maybe others can, I could share their stories and information. I was going through the airport one day, and we're taking a flight, and I looked over in a gate area, and there was this girl sitting there with a vest on. And I went up and talked to her, and I said, I have a vest like that, and I have cystic fibrosis. And she had cystic fibrosis. She was going through the Atlanta airport, headed, I think, back home to Kansas, and I stopped and talked to her for a little while until like I had to catch a flight, or she caught her flight. I think maybe going from like Florida back to Kansas or something like that. And I was headed to, I think, New England. But anyways, you know, it was nice to sit and talk with her, and trying to relate to other people to relate to having CF, where it's really hard to describe. And you know, some people are like, oh, okay, and then they go on with their life, but they don't, you know, nobody else can really know the what we go through every day, you know, every minute of the day, thinking about medicines. Can I afford the medicines? And how do I do my treatments? You know, telling the doctors, yeah, I've done all my treatments, when you haven't, you know. And I had a friend that he had CF, and he and I could call him out on it. It's like, have you really been doing your treatments? And he'd say no. And he was probably about 10 years younger than me, maybe 15 years younger than me. And you know, he didn't really take care of himself, and he actually had to go into the hospital, and ended up with sepsis, and he ended up passing away. And you know, it's hard when you have a close friend with CF that passes away like that, and when you have CF also. And then more recently, I had a niece that I didn't really keep in contact with, and she had CF, and she was very young. She's actually my daughter's age, but when she was, I don't know, maybe 18 or 20, she didn't really take great care of herself, and she ended up passing away. So it's hard, and it's hard when you have CF too. So just want to try to share some information, and if you want to comment down and leave comments on what you would like to discuss, or maybe even collaborate on, and we'll see where it goes. All right, everybody, take care and have a great day.